The beauty of college football is you can have a crazy opinion about anything. A lot of the time, you're going to be wrong, but sometimes you may be onto something and get something right. Every week leading up until kickoff, I'm going to be reading your hot takes and sharing my thoughts on them. But before we get to today's hot takes, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Also, if you'd like to have one of your hot takes featured in a video, please try and make it a truly spicy one that is worthy of being featured in a video. There are a lot of comments that say this team is going to win the national championship, this player is going to win the Heisman Trophy. That isn't a hot take. Make it something clever, make it something unique, and make it something fun that I can talk about in the next video. Kicking things off today, Jaden Maiava gets the Lincoln Riley Magic and throws for nearly 5,000 yards and wins USC a playoff game where both teams score 50 plus points in a thriller. Also, he is the #1 pick in next year's draft. Yeah, I did a video recently where I talked about USC, their quarterback situation for 2025, and how they probably don't want Jaden Maiava to be that guy that's going to be starting for majority of the 2025 season. Well, in this scenario, you think he's going to be that guy, and if he performs at this level, there's no question he's going to be leading USC to the college football playoff this year. Now, the interesting thing with Jaden Maiava, when you look at the 4 games he started at the end of the 2024 season, his numbers were actually kind of solid. In 4 starts, he threw for over 1,100 yards with 11 passing touchdowns. He also added 3 touchdowns on the ground as well. Now, obviously, it was a very small 4-game sample size, but if you take that over a full 12-game season, that's about 3,500 yards, 33 passing touchdowns, and 9 rushing touchdowns. If he's able to post those kind of numbers for USC, I do think they are going to be a threat in the Big Ten. Are they a playoff caliber team? If they are, then he really had to go nuclear, but hey, who knows? Maybe under Lincoln Riley, maybe the magic is going to work and he could be the next great USC quarterback. LSU has 2 Heisman candidates, one being quarterback Garrett Nussmeier and the other being running back Caden Durham. The Tigers have a historic season like the 2019 team and they win the national championship. Brian Kelly will silence all the doubters. On top of that, 3 teams from Louisiana will be ranked in the top 15 by the end of the year. LSU, Tulane, and Louisiana, with 2 making the playoffs and playing each other, LSU and Tulane. Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how LSU fares in 2025. I've talked about this a couple of times this year, but definitely offensively, they have one of the best teams you would think in all of college football. This should be an offense that is really, really good, that puts up a lot of points, and it's going to be led by Garrett Nussmeier and Caden Durham. My question is how good LSU's defense is going to be. Are they going to be a good enough defense that can secure them a playoff bid? If their defense is in fact legit and things don't go wrong for this offense, they're definitely going to be a playoff team. They're definitely going to be a championship caliber team. And if Brian Kelly can win a championship with LSU, he definitely is going to silence all the doubters. Moving on to part 2 of this hot take, because this person threw a couple in there which I absolutely love. 3 teams being ranked inside the top 15 from Louisiana. LSU, that's going to be a given. Tulane, that one's going to be a little bit interesting. I don't know if Tulane is going to be able to crack the top 15. Definitely the top 25 at some point. I'm sure they'll be ranked. Louisiana, I don't think many people realize how good of a team Louisiana was in 2024. Now, asking them to repeat what they did, that's going to be a big ask. And in order for them to be ranked inside the top 15, that means they're going to have to start the season either 10-0 or 11-0. Even at that point, I don't know if it'll be enough to get them inside the top 15. So I don't think all 3 are going to crack the top 15, but I definitely think all 3 are going to be ranked at some point in 2025. Stanford starts the season hot, going 5-0, and is a top 15 team by week 6, but they fall off and finish 6-6 in the regular season, with their final win being against Pittsburgh, and they lose the Fenway Bowl to North Texas. So Stanford, they got off to a hot start. They're a top 15 team in the country, and then things just hit the fan. They completely lose the rest of their games. I don't remember exactly who this was. Maybe someone out there in the comments, they can remind me down below. I don't know if it was last year, the year before, maybe 3 years ago, but there definitely was a team at some point where they began the season either going 5-0 or 6-0, and they proceeded to lose all of the remainder of their games, and they either finished the season going 5-7 or they were 6-6, something like that. So whatever team that was a couple of years ago, that's going to be Stanford in 2025. But I do like how they still make a bowl game in this hot take, and you pick the bowl game of them going to the Fenway Bowl and they lose to North Texas. I think Diego Pavia is second in the SEC in yards behind Garrett Nussmeier. Vandy goes 9-3, gets the 12th seed, and beats number 5 Texas, number 4 Ohio State, and number 1 Penn State, but they lose to number 6 LSU in the title game. We'll start back at the beginning with Diego Pavia. I definitely think there is a scenario in which he is second in the SEC in total yards. Garrett Nussmeier, he probably is the favorite to finish first, but I don't think outside of him, there's like a guaranteed number 2 or a guaranteed number 3 where you know for a fact they're going to finish second or third in yards. Now, there are 5 or 6 quarterbacks that I think can finish between 2 and 6. You could put them in any order, but I definitely think Pavia could be one of those guys that takes a step forward, and he has a really good season for Vanderbilt. Now, if he is finishing the season second in the conference in yards, that means he's having an insane year, and if he's having an insane year, that probably means Vanderbilt is doing really well. It probably means they're winning a lot of games. They make it to the playoff, but I think Vanderbilt getting to the playoff in itself, that's already an insanely hot take, but then them going on this crazy run, beating number 5 Texas, beating number 4 Ohio State, beating number 1 Penn State. If Vanderbilt makes the playoff, that'll be considered a miracle. If they win 3 playoff games, go buy yourself a lottery ticket if you believe this. Go bet on Vanderbilt to make the national championship, because you're probably getting something like 1,000 to 1 odds on this. Brent Venables will be fired from Oklahoma after this season. Yeah, ever since Venables took over from Oklahoma, it's been kind of underwhelming for them. I definitely think 2025 is going to be a much better season than 2024, but if Oklahoma has another disappointing year, if they finish the season going 5-7, 4-8, and missing a bowl game, will that be enough to fire Brent Venables? I'm not quite certain. I think things would have to get a lot worse in order for Oklahoma to do that. Who knows? Maybe they actually do it. Maybe they actually make a stand and make that bold move. But I think for the most part, his job, it's got to be pretty safe at this point. At least half of the college football playoff teams will be teams that were not in it last year. So I'm not going to try and take a guess as to what teams are the new ones that make the college football playoff. Let's just take a look at the 12 teams that made the playoff last year, and I'm going to be talking about the teams who I think probably don't make it back. When looking at the 12 teams from last year, I don't think Tennessee is going to make it back. I don't think Indiana is going to make it back. I don't think Boise State's going to make it back, and I don't think SMU is going to make it back as well. Arizona State, while I like to think they're going to be back in the playoff, I wouldn't be surprised if they missed out as well. So right there, those are 5 teams who aren't making it. So for the sake of this video, I got to pick a 6th that is going to be back in the playoff next year. We are going to go with, oh, this is tough. I think I'm going to go with Clemson. I think I'm going to have Clemson missing out because the ACC is so good. The decade drought of Baylor being a top 5 team is over. Sawyer Robinson becomes the Big 12 Player of the Year and takes Baylor to the college football playoff as the 3 seed at 12-1, 4,000 total yards and 40 total touchdowns. Bryson Washington takes over college football and rushes for 1.4 thousand yards. Yeah, I think a lot of college football casuals might not know just how good of a quarterback Sawyer Robinson was last season for Baylor. He was remarkable. He threw for over 3,000 yards, had 28 passing touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, and he also added over 200 yards on the ground with 4 rushing scores as well. I think he's going to take a step up. I think he's going to improve on those numbers. 4,000 total yards, I definitely think it's in the range of outcomes. I mean, he had 3,300 total yards last year, so you would have to think he's going to improve, he's going to get better. Bryson Washington, I did a best ball draft the other day on Underdog for the college football season, and as of when I did that draft, he was ADP-wise the number 1 overall player to take in that draft. So there is a lot of hype surrounding him for the 2025 season. I mean, this past year, he ran for over 1,000 yards, averaged 6 yards a carry, had 12 rushing touchdowns, had over 200 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown as well. I definitely think he's going to be a huge piece of that offense, and could very well be the best running back in college football this year. All right, we're going to wrap up today's video with one more hot take. Utah and Auburn shock the world and make the playoffs as at-large bids, and the Utes will be one of the 2 Big 12 teams getting in after losing to Arizona State in the Big 12 title game. Auburn, who has a manageable schedule, will beat out Alabama in the Iron Bowl for the last spot left and finish 10-2 as well. Yeah, 2024 was a very bad season for Utah. They've consistently been one of the best teams in the Pac-12 the last 5-6 years. The first year in the Big 12 didn't go that great. They did have a lot of injuries. They're probably going to turn things around in 2025. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the Big 12 title game. I do like that you throw in that they do lose to Arizona State, so Arizona State gets the automatic bid, but Utah's going to be good enough. They get the second Big 12 bid. I definitely think there's going to be 2 Big 12 teams that reach the playoff in 2025. maybe potentially 3. If that's the case, we're probably going to have a couple of Big 10 or SEC teams probably fall out, but I really am high on the Big 12 this year. I think it's going to be a great conference. In regards to Auburn, I do like their schedule for 2025. Can they win 10 games with Jackson Arnold as their quarterback? That is the million-dollar question. He was very disappointing for me in 2024 with Oklahoma. Maybe switching teams, maybe going to a brand new offense, it's going to be a good thing for him. Maybe he's going to live up to the expectations that came with him as a recruit, but I don't want to buy into Auburn just yet. Prove me wrong, let me see what they can do, but hey, who knows? If Jackson Arnold is the real deal, they definitely could win 10 games. Well, that wraps it up for today's hot takes. Do you have a hot take and a bold prediction for the 2025 college football season? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments down below, and it could be featured in my next hot takes video. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, please make sure it's a good one if you want your comment to be featured. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos all off season long, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm, and it helps share this video and my channel with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.